You see this? It's a $2 bill, right? It's a $2 bill. And it's worth, you guessed it, exactly $2. And it does the same job as 2 singles in your wallet right now. But watch what happens when somebody pulls one out in a room. Everything stops. People lean in. Somebody always says, wait, that's real. Or they stop and tell you a story. Has anybody ever done that with a $1 bill in the history of the world? Yeah, that's what I thought. No. Dollar bills compete, $2 bills get remembered. And by the end of this little video, I want you to understand something. You, yes, you are a $2 bill. You've just been introducing yourself as a 1. My name is Brad Holzman, and I've spent 22 years deciding who got on television and who didn't. And I want to tell you about a guy, Eddie. Because Eddie's you. And you just don't know it yet. Eddie's a military attorney, or he was, 20 years, and he advised a 3-star general in charge of over 300,000 soldiers. And one time, Eddie went up against one of the biggest law firms in D.C. That's Washington, D.C. They had 16 attorneys on their side, and Eddie had himself and one other guy. 16 against 2. And guess what happened? Eddie won. He recovered $162.5 million. Then he left the military just recently and went to interview for a job in the private sector for the first time in 20 years. Guess what happened? He bombed. He bombed the interview completely. So he calls me because he wanted some help. Wanted some help with his positioning. And I asked him what happened. And he said, I talked about being a government attorney. I said, Eddie, what about all the facts, all the statistics? What about the $162.5 million and 16 verse 2 and advising this general? And he said, well, but that's all my job. A man beats 16 lawyers, recovers $162 million, and calls it just my job. He had the most incredible story in the room the entire time. He just didn't know it was a story because to him it was a Tuesday. It's just what he did. Now, here's why I'm telling you about a lawyer. Look at what the man had on paper. 20 years, a 3-star general, $162 million, and he still could not say what made him different. So if you've been sitting there thinking you can't figure out your thing because you haven't done enough yet, or you're not far enough along, or you don't have the right credentials, stop. That is not it. Because Eddie had all of it, and it didn't help him. It's not a resume problem. It's a positioning problem. You cannot see yourself from the inside. Nobody can. And here's the way I actually think about this, and it's the most useful thing I'm going to say today. You're the farmer. You are responsible to grow the crops. Years of them, all that hard work, all those wins, all those scars, those are your ingredients, and they're real. Nobody can take them from you. But me, I'm the chef. Here's the thing. Guess what? It takes both. You can have the best ingredients in the world, and if nobody ever cooks them, you never get the meal. You just have crudité, boring ranch dressing. You just have a kitchen full of stuff nobody tasted. Now that's most of you. You've got a kitchen absolutely full of amazing ingredients, 20 years of them, and nobody ever has sat you down and said, that right there, that's the dish. So let me show you what happens when somebody does. I did this for a living for 22 years, right? And let me tell you about Dolmar. You might actually know him. He's everywhere. He flips houses in Tampa. He's been on A&E for a few years now. And before I ever picked Dolmar, I looked at hundreds of flippers, hundreds of teams, and most of them kind of same talent, same numbers. And on paper, I kind of couldn't tell them apart. So why Dolmar? Why not the other 400? Well, it wasn't that he was the best. Sorry, Dolmar. There were better flippers on that list. It's that I looked at him and I found the thing you could not look away from. He was magnetic. He had a great team. He had good sayings, the whole combination of who he was. And then I took his ingredients and produced it. I made the meal. And not one of those 400 people knew what their own thing was. Not one. And I'd say what I thought about them back to them, and I'd watch their face change right in front of me. That's what I do. I find the ingredient you've been walking past, and I help you turn it into a meal. And this Tuesday, July 28th, at 7 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do it. Live. Free. That's right, live and free. Come on. Last week, I did a version of this for a couple hundred business owners, and the reaction broke me a little. Honestly, people in the chat writing tears rolling down my cheeks, calling it the most powerful thing they've been a part of. So here's what I want you to do right now before Tuesday. Register at the link below. And the second you do, you can watch the recording of that exact talk, the one that had the room in tears. Watch it tonight. And then come Tuesday with one thing in your head, the one thing in your own history that you've always brushed off. It's just my job. Because I promise you, that's exactly where your $2 bill is hiding. So register, watch the recording, and I will see you Tuesday at 7. Don't be the best. Be the only.